Hello everyone, and welcome back to Why Not Travel, and once again this is Robert. Today we are going to do a ship tour around the Carnival Radiance. We are going to start this ship tour on Deck 14 and Deck 12, which is the Serenity area of the ship. So if you're not familiar with Carnival ships, Serenity is actually the adult-only area on the ship. Here you will find cabanas, day beds, a bar, and even an oversized hot tub for the adults to enjoy during the cruise. This is also a more quiet area on the ship too, so if you are not in the mood to be part of a giant deck party and the activities on board the ship, this is a cool place to hang out. One thing to know about Deck 14, which is the highest deck on the ship, this is actually also where the water slides start on the ship. So the kids will actually go up the stairs, and there is like a divider that will keep them away from the adult area of the ship so they could go down the water slide. Still on Deck 12, but on the other side of the midship pool, is where the mini golf is located, which is around the funnel. And I will admit, this mini golf course is nothing to brag about, but it is still a fun time and something to do to pass the time during the cruise. Now on to Deck 11. We'll start in the aft and work our way forward because majority of the stuff is in the aft of Deck 11. So Deck 11 is the sports deck on the ship where all the activities on board the Radiance is located. You will find the ropes course here, the basketball courts, a giant chess set to play, the jogging track, and outdoor gym equipment. So if you want to get a morning exercise in, like a morning jog or a morning walk, you're most likely coming to Deck 11. Also, all the way forward on Deck 11, you'll run into the spa and fitness center on the ship. It's actually a small gym, but it also has all the necessary activities, and the ceilings are really high, which is nice for people like me because you won't bump your head on the ceiling when you're on an elliptical or on the treadmill. And so because of that, I actually say this is one of the best gyms I have ever been in on a cruise ship. We are now at Deck 10, and once again we're going to start in the aft and work our way forward. Here you will find the Pig and Anchor, which is a barbecue specialty restaurant which is also included during the cruise. Now, I know there's Pig and Anchor on the Vista class ships and it's a sit-down restaurant and a pub and a bar, but on Radiance it's literally grab and go barbecue and it's only open on sea days. So if it is a sea day, you definitely want to stop by this. The rest of Deck 10 is mainly sun loungers to catch the sun for a tan, and it's identical on both sides of the ship. Now, all the way forward on Deck 10 is actually where the water slides end from Deck 14, and also the splash zone for kids. So this area of Deck 10 usually does get crowded because of all the people trying to catch in the sun and also all the kids playing in the splash zone on the ship. Now on to Deck 9, also known as the Lido. You will spend majority of your time on Deck 9 on the Lido on board a Carnival ship. The reason is because all the pools and buffets are located on Deck 9. All the way in the aft of the ship, you will find the aft pool with 2 hot tubs along with a bar called the Tides Bar. Also located in this area is Shaq's Big Kitchen, which is another specialty restaurant that's included, and Pizza del Capitano, where you can get your included pizza that is freshly made when ordered. From there, you'll go inside the ship and immediately run into the buffet, and Cucina del Capitano is actually upstairs on Deck 10. I included it on deck 9 because you actually have to get to Kachina from the buffet on deck 9, even though it's located on deck 10. From the buffet, you will end up at the midship pool or the main pool on the ship, which has a giant TV where they show outdoor movies, and around the pool, you will find Guy's Burgers, the Blue Iguana Cantina, Red Frog Rum Bar, and finally the Blue Iguana Tequila Bar. Like I said, there is a lot going on deck 9, and you will be spending a lot of time here. Now for decks 6 through 8, it's all cabins, so we're going to move on to deck 5, which is known as the Promenade, or I like to call it the main deck of the ship. So once again, working our way from the aft to the forward section of the ship, we run into the Alchemy Bar. This is by far one of the best bars on board the ship, and if you want something different and creative, definitely check out the Alchemy Bar, not just on Radiance, but on any Carnival ship. Across from the Alchemy Bar is the Piano Bar, which you will find a pianist in here every evening and a friendly staff serving drinks into the evening as the pianist gets people to sing along with him to Elton John and Billy Joe and many other famous sing-along songs. Next to the piano bar is the Red Frog Pub. You will find people singing karaoke, and all the game shows and trivia is also usually held in here. One thing to know about the pub on this ship is it's actually one of the biggest on board any Carnival ships. And all the way in the back, which a lot of people hardly ever go back here, is some games you could play, like foosball, and I'm going to call it shuffleboard. I know it's called something else. But if you just want to have a drink and have a good time with friends and play some games, this is a good place to do it. Okay, so walking from the Red Frog Pub going forward, you will immediately run into Bonsai Sushi. And if you want some really good sushi for really good affordable prices, you have to come here. I will still stand by this statement that Bonsai Sushi is some of the best sushi I have ever had on a cruise ship. From Bonsai, we will walk through a small corridor and it will take you immediately straight into the casino. Now, I will admit, I know this is one of the features on some of the Carnival ships that people do not like, and Radiance is one of those ships. Basically, the casino takes up an entire section of the deck, and there is no way to get from the aft to the forward, mainly the atrium on this ship, without passing through the casino. Carnival literally designs their ships that you have to walk through the casino to get to basically all the bars and lounges that Carnival is known for. And a lot of people don't like that because people don't like walking through a smoky casino, but unfortunately that is the case unless if you want to walk up to deck 6 to avoid the casino. From the casino, we could walk straight into the Heroes Bar. The Heroes Bar is a tribute bar basically to all the vets that have served and gave their lives for the freedoms we have in the United States. The Freedom Bar also has a door into the atrium, but we're actually going to walk back into the casino and go into the atrium from the casino. So a lot of people ask me that have never been on a cruise, what is the atrium? Simply put, the atrium is the main staircase of the ship and the heart of the ship. So you're going to find basically all the shops around the atrium. We're going to hang a hard right and go into the warehouse. The warehouse is actually the arcade on board the ship. And even though this space is kind of small, it is jam-packed with a lot of arcade games. And it will keep you busy and entertained, especially if you're a little kid or a kid at heart. I have even spent quite a bit of time in here during a cruise as well. So from the warehouse, we are walking back into the atrium, and going back to what I was saying, as you could see, all the shops, also known as the fun shops, from jewelry to Carnival's merchandise, is going to be found in this area. So if you want to buy a souvenir and everything, just head to the atrium and you will definitely find what you're looking for here. So one thing that I will say that I really like about the Radiance is how many elevators this ship actually has, especially at the main atrium of the ship. That's one issue on cruise ships that I run into, is just trying to get on an elevator because they're relatively small and there just never is an enough sometimes. But on the Radiance, I have never had a problem. Now on to deck 4, and I will admit, in all reality, there isn't a lot on deck 4. With that said, however, the main entrance to the show lounge, or also known as the liquid lounge, is actually on deck 4. Yes, you could get to the liquid lounge from deck 5, but the main entrance is on deck 4. And this is where all the main shows in the evenings will be shown. Now, I will admit, the liquid lounge is a love-hate relationship for me. I understand the concept, but the viewing isn't the best. So if you want a good seat, get here early. Okay, so the other notable spot on deck 4 is the steakhouse, also known as Fahrenheit 555. It is a specialty dining experience and does cost extra, but it's actually very reasonable in price. And if you want a really good steak on the Carnival Radiance, this is the place to have it.
Hey guys, now comes the part of the ship tour that I personally do not like the layout of the Radiance, and I believe all of her sister ships, which are the Sunshine class, I believe, are all like this. Now, when Radiance was originally built in 2006, she was not the Radiance, she was the Carnival Victory, and she had a layout that made a lot more sense. It flew a lot better, if I'm completely honest. The Comedy Club was in the aft of the ship, and all of deck 5 was a public deck, and it just flew from one area to the next. However, when she was remodeled, and yes, they added a lot of things to her that really make her stand out from the other Carnival ships. However, this one change I do not like. They decided to add more cabins. So, where the Comedy Club used to be is now staterooms. And these are all brand new staterooms. The door is closed right now because they're still getting the rooms together. So the question is where is the Comedy Club? The answer is they built it in between the two main dining rooms. And because of that, you can't go to deck 4 and get to the aft dining room. You actually have to go up to deck 5 or go all the way down to deck 2 to get to the aft dining room. It's a little confusing. So let me show you how you get to the Comedy Club and how you get to the aft dining room, which is mainly my time dining, and which I always do. So I know exactly where the aft dining room is because I have to go there every single night. So let's go. Okay, so we're in the midship. We're by the elevator banks, so if you have mobility issues, you do have to take the elevator down one floor. Like I said, we're on deck 5, and the Comedy Club is actually on deck 4. So I'm going to take the stairs for the video and to show you how confusing this layout actually is. And like I said, I do not personally like this design choice. It is what it is. We have to live with it. It's probably never going to change. But I think Carnival really needs to take this into consideration when the other ships are remodeled. So there's the midship dining room. So where's the Comedy Club? It's actually to our right. So if you come through here, and then you go down this hallway, Luckily, the crew is being nice to us, so all these tables on top of it have no view. You have to watch a TV, so get here early because the comedy club is actually not that big on the Carnival Radiance, but here it is. And this may look familiar because it's actually kind of similar to the Vista class ships in the design of the room itself. But like I said, if you're coming for a comedy show, definitely get here early. And as you can see, those doors actually lead to the aft dining room, and they're always closed. We can't go through them. So if you're watching a show in here or having a drink and you have to go to dinner, we have to go back the way we came to get to the aft dining room. So let's do that right now. We are back where we actually started this video on deck 5, but as you can see, we're still not at the main dining room, so we actually have to go down these stairs again. Yes.
Where's deck 9?
So the main dining room is closed at the moment, but there it is.
So we go on what floor is it?
On a side note, that dining room is actually 2 decks. It's on deck 3 and 4. The doors are closed, so we can't get in there, but that is the dining room, which is how you get to this particular dining room. Yes, you can take the elevators. It's just odd. It's an oddball layout, and I hope in the future Carnival never makes this mistake ever again, because at least 7 people a night ask me, how do you get to that dining room, or how do you get to the comedy club? So I just wanted to explain this to you guys so you know how to actually get here. And like I said, it doesn't make sense to me. It is what it is. Hopefully you guys won't find it as confusing when you get on the Radiance for the first time.
Now on to deck 3, and deck 3 is actually just where the main entrances are to the dining rooms on board the ship. So let's start with the midship dining room, also known as the sunrise dining room. Now, the sunrise dining room is where you're going to have all your set time dining or your traditional dining schedule. Basically, you have a set table to go to and a set time, and you will come here and have the same waiters, etc., every single night of the cruise. Now for the aft dining room, also known as the sunset dining room. And as you can see, it is very similar to the sunrise dining room, but it is bigger. This is where anytime dining takes place on board a Carnival cruise. Basically, you don't have a set table and you don't have a set time of when you want to come to dinner. So instead, you go onto the Carnival app and you say you're ready, and they will let you know via the app when your table is ready. And you will come back here and they'll seat you at a table and you have your dinner. Finally, decks 1 and 2. It's all cabins, so there's really nothing to show here. Instead, I'm going to show you some of the cabins on board the Carnival Radiance that I was able to get footage of. Starting off with the Deluxe Ocean View forward-facing cabin. And this cabin is basically the size of a balcony cabin, but instead of a balcony, you have a floor-to-ceiling window facing forward. Now this cabin is still a Deluxe Ocean View forward-facing cabin, but the difference is this is considered a family cabin. So the only way to book this cabin is if you have 3 or more people. Now onto a fully accessible balcony cabin, and as you can see, the size of this balcony cabin is quite large, and it has a less furniture than your normal balcony cabin, so it's easier to get around. Also, the balcony is more spacious and it doesn't have a threshold so people in a wheelchair can get out onto the balcony. And then finally, you have your fully accessible bathroom. And finally, as a bonus, is the aft grand suites on deck 5 on board the Carnival Radiance. Now, this cabin is very unique, and it is one of the new cabins added onto the ship, and it is actually a 2-room suite. You have a sitting room, and then you have the bedroom, and then you have your suite bathroom with a bathtub and shower combo. And the balcony is huge as well. So if you have the opportunity to stay in the aft grand suite, I highly recommend it. So there you have it, guys. That's basically the Carnival Radiance in a nutshell. And yes, like I have said in my previous videos, she isn't the biggest ship out there, but there's just something about the Radiance that I personally really like, and I have sailed on her many times, and I'll probably sail on her again many times into the future. So with all that said, if you like this, consider on subscribing and share to your friends. And as always, I leave you with this: why not travel?